Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We are on another episode of Straight Shooting with Stevie Ray, the world's most dangerous podcast. I am your host, Stevie Ray. And like I promised you guys, we got a special guest coming on tonight. A one, a only, one half of the second best tag team in professional wrestling. And second ain't bad, man. Second ain't bad. People should be proud of being second. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a hell of an accomplishment. But he's here tonight, y'all. I told you he was going to be here. A Mr. Devon Dudley. Devon Hughes, as a lot of people know him nowadays, but he'll always be Devon Dudley to me. What's going on, Air10? What's up, Matthew? They got to know. It's owned like a steaming pot of neck bones. Now, also tonight, my boy Chris Dillsworth. I've invited him on the show to ask a couple of questions. But I haven't heard from him. So I hope he remembered, because he is the one that makes my flyers. So how could he forget? But be that as it may, he's not in the green room yet. But we're going to be looking for him when he shows up. Okay? What's up, real cool? But with all that being said, what's up, Carl? My man is here, and we're going to get this party started. Okay, like I said, man, the one and only is going to be here, and he's in the green room right now. DJ, I don't know, man. I really don't know, man. It is what it is, man, when it comes to things like that. The invite was sent. We'll see what happens. He hasn't hit me back and said anything about, hey, man, the link of this, that, and the other. That's what he always does. So I don't know. Sometimes he has to work late, but I think he would have let me know. What's up, Alpha? Gregor, what's going on? Hey, man, you guys in the house? Let's get this party started, man. Ladies and gentlemen, he's here. There he is, right there. Take a look at him. What is going on, man?
Well,
Mr. Devon, we appreciate you coming on tonight, man. Tell us what's up.
Well, I mean, I sent you pictures. I was in my front yard putting up floaties.
Yeah, I saw.
Kids, and we got about 20 of them, believe it or not.
I didn't know it was that much until you sent me the picture.
Oh, God, bro. Listen, and I'm still not done. That's the bad part. I'm still not done. But I think also, there's some technical difficulties and things like that. And I get that. And I understand that because, some podcasts, I had my own at one point, and I do know that some podcasts can really, like, the audio is a little messed up. But, when you introduce me, I know it was a mistake on my part because I'm getting older now. Hearing is good.
Yeah,
And you said, I thought I heard you say, what was it, the second best? I know you meant the number one tag team, which I told you call me for the speech, but you didn't.
Well, but like I say, man, I kind of look at it like the Jordan and LeBron gimmick, Right. I kind of look at it like that, you know what I'm saying? So if I'm Mike, you know what I'm gonna say. If I'm LeBron, you know what I'm gonna say. So, but at the end of the day, man, it's all love, man. It is all love, and you know that, brother. I got the utmost respect for you, always has. And brother, I always enjoyed watching you and Bubba Ray do your thing, man. I was a fan. Believe that or not, I was a fan, brother. And it's a pleasure to have you on the show today, man.
Thank you. I was a fan of you and your brothers as well. You know, I was very proud and happy that two strong black men such as yourself was representing, you know,
Right.
an American community, and you guys tore it down, did a hell of a job.
I appreciate that, man. Those were some good days. Matter of fact, right before we came on tonight, I'm talking to the IG audience, and what I do is take questions and stuff like that. And guys they were asking me about the global days tonight. You know what I'm saying? And brother, I can't even remember the global days. Some of the stuff that they was asking, like who was the first man? I'm like, I don't even remember. Then it come to me, oh yeah, I do remember. Then it's like, well, who were the first name guys you worked? And I'm like, brother, I've been hit on the head with a lot of chairs, you know. So I can't remember things like I used to, but I've never been that kind of guy. What about yourself when it comes to reminiscing about some of the things you've done in the ring? Can you remember them? Like some guys can remember things verbatim. I've never been one of those guys. What about yourself?
I can to a certain extent.
Okay.
How memorable in my mind the match was, you know, like going over the TLC matches with the Christian. Absolutely. I can remember those. I can remember exactly putting those matches together, and you know just how nervous we were, things of that nature. Of that, you know, a lot of ECW stuff I remember.
Right.
Tell you in detail everything. I mean, Bubba, whose memory is not too good either from all the chair shots, and but Bubba kind of reminds me of some of the things that we did back then, where I'm completely like, what? And then we did what? And there are some things in WWE that I tell him about, and he's just like, he don't remember. He's like, what? So it's kind of like it all depends,
right?
The situation of the match or whatever took place during that time, how it got to us, or how memorable it was for us, that we're going to remember every little detail. So it's really hard.
Well, let me ask you this: you guys I know you guys came out of New York. Who trained you guys actually back when you guys first started?
Well, Bubba learned on the road. He was supposed to go where I went.
Wait a minute. Back up. What do you mean he learned on the road? Wait a minute. Wait, on the job training? What's with this?
He'll tell you. He said it many times in many interviews that like I went to Johnny Rodgers' school, and that,
the unpredictable Johnny Rods
in Gleason's gym, and I spent 5.5 years there.
What?
Bubba,
wow.
Yeah, 5.5 years at his school, and Bubba had the opportunity to go to Johnny's, but a gentleman by the name of Sonny Blaze used to be who used to work back in the WWF days. Basically opened up a school literally 5 to 10 minutes away from home. And he reluctant to go to Johnny's, and he went to Sonny Blaze. I mean, this is the story that Bubba tells. And basically he said that he went for the first day, and I guess Sonny asked him, what do you want to learn? And Bubba says, a drop kick. So he learned a drop kick, and that was it. He said the next day when he came back to school, the school was gone. So
what happened?
I guess Sonny decided he didn't want to teach anymore. And I mean, again, story that Bubba tells, and he's told it many times. I guess Sonny decided to pack up and get out of town, and Bubba still holds a lot of resentment towards that, but he learned on the road. WCCW, I think I'm saying it right. He worked in their territory. For a bit, he worked with Manny Fernandez. He said Manny took him on the road and showed him the ropes, and kind of like what they did back in the old school.
Right. Yeah, Manny helped train me and my brother also.
Right.
I didn't know we had that in common.
Yeah. So he went on the road with Manny, and Manny taught him the ropes and taught him, how to do things in the ring. And then Bubba Ray Dudley was born, or Mongo Val.
Wait a minute. What was that name?
Mongo Val. Yeah,
Oh my God.
you know,
Oh man, that's one step away from Mungo Slade.
yeah,
and
yeah. He tells
let's and let's do it again or whatever.
yeah, he tells that story.
Anyway.
And learned through Johnny Rods. I mean, I got beat up, I got stretched, you name it. I went through
Right.
5.5 years, and I
Wow.
grew up in the wrestling business, as you could say, the old school way.
Right.
You know, the respect was definitely there. I was in the ring with guys like Big Vito.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, was training at Johnny Roz. He was doing enhancement talent
Right.
for then. So to us, young boys at the time, he was like a big thing back then.
Right.
Clean, Mondo Clean, who was one of the first guys to ever be on the first episode of Monday Night Raw,
Mm-hmm.
Manhattan Center,
Mm-hmm.
and he worked on numerous matches with the WWF at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it was who else was that? Tommy Dreamer was there at the time. I had just missed him, but Tommy would come back and kind of help out with the young guys. And at
Right.
that, some of the young guys, I miss Taz, I miss Bill DeMont because they went
Mm-hmm.
to also, and Big Dick Dudley, God rest his soul.
Right.
I missed him as well. And there was a lot of guys that Johnny trained. Like I never knew until later on that Johnny helped train Roddy Piper, and that
Ah.
put over Johnny in his book and said if it
Mm.
wasn't Johnny taking care of him, he didn't know where he would be. And right then and there, that man did a lot for the wrestling business, and not to
Mm.
mention, even though he might not have won, the matches
Mm-hmm.
that would have made him a great superstar, but in a sense, he was to the boys
Right.
because he wanted to look good. You get in the ring with Johnny, and Johnny would make you look good.
Right. Right. Oh man, that's interesting, man. I did not know the background on Bubba Ray, man. Sometimes
Yeah,
you never know. But going back to Johnny Ross, he also trained a buddy of mine, Big Tank, that was in WCW. He
W-
came in with the guys when they was doing that, whatever that stuff, Bischoff and them brought in. He came in with him, but and we became good friends, and we're still friends to this day. And he told me Johnny Ross trained him.
yeah,
Uh,
and he came in right as I was leaving.
okay.
So I remember him. I remember watching WCW one time
Hmm.
and seeing him on there. I was in ECW at the time. I was like, oh, wait a minute, I remember him.
Right.
And
Right.
happy to see that somebody in Johnny Rods'
Good
group that I
dude.
hated.
He, yeah, take good dude, man. We still communicate to this day, man. And whenever we're in New York, whenever we're in New York, you know what I'm saying? You know, I remember I was up there, man, about a week before 9/11. I was up there doing the one of the talk shows, and we hung out. Man, we hung out all night. We hung out all night, man. But these other times I've been after that, we always hang out at any of the WWE stuff, you know what I'm saying? He's always come down, man. That's a good dude, man. Matter of fact, me and some buddies of mine, because we're thinking about going up there, taking a trip to New York just to hang out with him for a few days, man, for the hell of it, Because I'm gonna be honest with you, man, that is one city I've never liked. I don't know why. I'm a Texas boy. You see what I'm saying?
Uh,
I need big space, big
well,
land.
here's a
You know what I'm
story.
saying?
Here's a story. Me and Bubba just got to WWE, and
Okay.
we are doing San Antonio, Texas, and a
Okay.
group on this flight. I don't know if he came from TV or whatever, but I think we were coming from home. But we just happened to be on the same flight. A lot of the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, we did a connecting flight, and then after the connecting flight, we wound up in San Antonio. And me and Bubba go get out, rent a car, and it hurts, and we're all on the bus. Stone
Uh-huh.
Cold Austin was on there as well, And he's got his spit cup in his hand. And he looks over, turns to me, goes, "Devon, how you doing?" I was like, "Good, good." He was like, "How the hell how you like Texas?" Now, remind you, I'm from New York.
Right.
So I outside of New York, before, until I got into the wrestling business. And I just remember I got there on the hottest day it could be in. And so when Steve asked me that question, I just went, "Well, Steve, I don't know how I feel about Texas." I was, it's not, to me, it's hot, it's thick, and with all the dust flying around, to me, it seems a little dirty, And Steve takes his cup, he has a cup in his hand, and does this on the bus. He turns back completely to me, and then Bubba hits me, goes, "Idiot, he's from he's a Texan. Why the hell would you say that?" I went, "Oh God." I said, Steve, he goes, "No, you already made your bed. You already."
Let me stop you for a second. Your mic keeps cutting off. I don't know if it's because you're getting too close to it, but it's like between a couple of words, like when you go back, it's okay. But when you come up, it's like cutting off.
All right, I'll stay right here. I'm rocking.
So I don't know if it's because you're too close and you're picking up your mic. If you're on your phone, sometimes it'll do that. You're on the phone?
Right where I am, I won't move.
Okay. Now I don't know if that's what it is. I'm just saying it seemed like that. A couple of people in the but hey, man, what I'm going to do right now, a very good friend of mine, a young man that's been helping your boy out. He's been helping your boy out, man. I really don't like people helping me out. I really can do stuff on my own, man. You know what I'm saying? But he's a young man that's out there, got his own podcast going, man. And he's a good dude, a good brother, good young brother that respects the business. One thing I like about him, he respects the business. And he wanted to come on, and I actually invited him on to ask you a couple of questions because he's a big fan of yours.
Yeah.
Because he's a big fan of tag team wrestling. And he's even said to me, "Stevie, I think Harlem Heat was the best tag team ever. But I think the Dudleys was good too." I said that was all right. That's what I told him. I said that was cool. But man, my boy Chris Dillsworth, man, and everybody been asking about him. So y'all, he made it, man. I think he was working later. Either he had to stop for gas and they only had $5 to get him home. I don't know. He goes through stuff like that sometimes. But I'm gonna bring him on, Devon, if you don't mind asking a couple of questions for me, man.
On in, brother.
Okay, dog. Let's see if he's out there.
Hey, y'all.
There he is.
What's going on?
Chris Dillsworth. Everybody been asking, say, "Hey, man, where is he? Why isn't he here when the show starts?" That's what I'm getting.
You know how Black people are, especially when it comes to Thanksgiving, getting close to Thanksgiving. I have to do it. Listen, I had to make my little last runs or whatever. Then they have to come in here. Listen, it's not every day that you talk to two legends that I love. Mr. Devon, listen, this is a dream come true. I wanted to, it was either you or Bubba or Edge Christian, the Hardy Boys. I wanted to interview you guys for forever, for 25 years. This is 25 years in the making for me. So this is an honor. And yes, I do respect the business. I have never took a bump in my life. I would never go in that lane and say, "Hey, yeah, I know what the fuck I'm talking about." No. I'm staying in my lane. You know what I'm saying? But no, it's an honor to be here. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Hey, man, you got some questions for my man? I told him you was going to come on and ask a few questions. I told him about your podcast, and he's ready for you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate the honor. So the first question that I have for you, towards the end of ECW, what were your thoughts and feelings when it came to the transition to WWE?
Didn't want to go.
I want to know why. Because I got some other questions for that. Because I've seen two versions of the Dudley Boys. First, it was the nerdy kind, and then it was just Bubba just snapped, just start power bombing old women or whatever. Can you elaborate about that, please?
Yeah. So my thing was, it was like we were big fish in a medium pond, and I started to get cold feet. And of course, people in the locker room who had been through WWF at the time, basically were telling us the horror stories about the locker room, how certain people were. And this is the time, supposedly the clique, and they were making it seem like it was just like ridiculous. Like you didn't want to dread it going there. So when the phone call was made, and Vince Russo was the one that got in touch with us through a gentleman who we loved, and Miss Daly, who passed away, Blackjack Brown. He made the phone call, set it up between Bubba and myself and Black and Russo, and thus we were talking about coming in and this and that, and because Russo was a big fan of ECW, he knew exactly where and what we brought to the table. And so, it was like he convinced Vince and all of that to give us a try, even after the incident between Public Enemy, what happened there with them. They were still willing to give us a try coming from ECW. I say that because, Public Enemy was known to be an ECW, and even to WCW, right after ECW, still known as ECW guys. So, to have another tag team from ECW come in was kind of like, ugh. But Russo did that for us, and, we got that call. He was like, all right, well, you guys, we want to bring you in. And I remember Bubba and I on the phone when he was like, what do you think? Are you ready for this? And I said, be honest with you, no, I'm not. And he goes, what do you mean you're not? And I was like, I don't want to do this. He goes, like, why don't we stay where we are? Paulie will take care of us. We're taking a chance and going up there and getting squashed. And, more words were said, and then we kind of got into it a little bit. And then, it was kind of like that F you. I was like, goodbye, I ain't going. And and my wife at the time, who's my ex-wife now, the twins' mom, came to me and she said, listen, all your life you've been wanting to go to this company, and you finally got the opportunity to go, and now you have cold feet. He was like, somebody else said what's going on up there. Why don't you use your brain and go up there and find out for yourself? That way, no regrets, and you don't leave anything, undone. If you don't go and you let this opportunity pass, number one, you get it again, and number two, you will regret it. And I was like, and I looked at her, I'm like, whatever. Like, yo, you don't know what you're talking about. And I remember going on my terrace at the time, and I took a cigar and I just sat there, and I had a nice view of New York City at the time. And I was out there smoking my cigar and just thinking about it. And I said, you know what? She's right. I was like, and I came in, I apologized to her. I said, I didn't mean to brush you off and this and that. I said, I think I'm going to do it. She goes, good. She goes, well, first and foremost, call Bubba and apologize, number one, and number two, tell him you guys are going to do it. And I was like, can you do it? Like a now jackass.
Wow, that isn't. I did not know that.
Of course you didn't know. You wasn't there.
Oh, shut up.
I was still in high school.
I was.
This is Pro Wrestling Edification 101. That's what I do.
Was it high school?
So silly.
That's
what I do. Now you can take this information and hype up your own podcast because of me.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. That's what I do. If I don't take care of my brothers, who will?
No, like
so I called him, and then pretty much he was like, "Well, let's do this," and and the rest is history.
I heard that,
man. How? Okay, you went from having cold feet to being one of the greatest tag teams in WWE history. What happened? Like when I mean, like, once again, there were versions of you guys, nerdy, sadistic, and just didn't give a fuck at all. Excuse my language. But it's just like what you're telling me right now. It's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My bad. I'm sorry.
Thanks for disrespecting my guest.
I'm sorry.
With your vulgarity.
You know what? You worse.
I'm trying to help her. I'm trying to help a young brother, Devon. You see what I'm saying? See this generation.
I've been helping you like all week.
I know that.
You don't want people to tell. You don't want me to tell people what you did the day before yesterday.
Be that as it may.
But I love you for it, so I don't care. I will put everything down for you. You know that.
I know that.
I know that. Appreciate it.
But there are rules and regulations.
Okay.
And guidelines.
I'll be PG. Okay.
Okay.
It's cool.
Appreciate it.
Okay, cool. All right. Now going back to you, Mr. Dudley. So what did you guys do? Did you guys have a conversation? Did Vince Russo, which that is not the most popular person in my book right now, even though you know.
Wait a minute. I have to defend Vince. I'm gonna tell you something, Chris, that you don't know. Vince is one of the easiest guys in the business to communicate with.
Oh, he wasn't easy to communicate with me when I came on here.
I said me, not you. Easiest guy.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
No, one of the easiest guys.
I like Vince Russo. Some of his takes are outrageous, but you know.
Okay, well, that's not what we're talking about. You're talking about Devon going to him to communicate with about. Let's stay on point.
Let's stay on topic. Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
So Vince Russo like help you guys like with y'all progression in WWE?
Well, I wouldn't say progression. He helped us get in because again, he was writing for WWE at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Or he went to WCW. You know, he was heavily into the Attitude Era. And so he set up the meeting with Vince. It was myself, Bubba, Russo, Ed Farr. I believe Bruce Pritchard was there. Mm-hmm. And he helped set up that meeting. And we went in there and it was kind of like, you know, it was like a job interview, so to speak. You know, they wanted to see what type of people we were. They wanted to see how we spoke, things like that. And, you know, there were questions that were asked. I don't fully remember every question. There were some jokes that in between, and, you know, we all got along. And it was like at the end of those conversations, I realized that we passed the test.
That's what's up. So who came up with, I know you've probably been asked this 1,000 times, who came up with TLC? Was it you, Edge, Christian, and the Hardy Boys? Or was it like you guys like just sat at a table and just say, hey, let's just come up with this like legendary tag team match?
Oh, it was Vince.
Oh, Vince Russo?
No, Vince McMahon.
Oh.
Russo was gone. So it was Vince McMahon and whoever the writers were at that time. We were just told, hey, you guys are going to be in a tables, ladders, and chairs match. That's it. That's all we were told. And basically, you know, come up with a match that would basically, you know, be suitable for what I like. That's exactly. You know, we got our heads together and came up with the spots and the match that you saw that people still talk about to this day after what, 25, 30 years.
Listen, WrestleMania 17 is one of the greatest pay-per-views I've ever seen. Like, we still talk about it. This was about 25 years ago, and we're still talking about TLC 2. TLC, honestly, TLC 3 was my favorite. The one on SmackDown, that was actually one of my favorites. Like of all time, literally. My next question to you is, what did Spike Dudley mean to you, and what was the impact did he have on your career?
Well, I think I said it best in my Hall of Fame speech. You know, Spike was like a brother to us. Spike basically helped the Dudleys elevate to that next level, especially in these. The man took insane bumps from us, took insane abuse, and put his body on the line when he didn't have to. You know, he was the strongest, most toughest man we had ever been in the ring with, next to Mae Young.
Mae Young.
Mae Young, man.
You know, Devon, you guys coming from ECW and transitioning into that WWE persona, if you will. I for one, looking back on it and thinking about it, I thought the ECW thing gave WWE an edge that I don't think it ever would have gotten if guys like yourself, you and from the ECW guys wouldn't have never transitioned there. I think it put them at a different. I looked at it totally different back then.
I agree.
This, if it wasn't for ECW and the things that we had accomplished and done, there would have never been attitude era.
I got you.
Totally agree.
You cannot deny that ECW did not have an influence on WWE changing its product and making it and pushing it up. When
I agree.
When you guys were whooping their asses, they turned to what ECW was doing, and there was no in the arenas where you went, whether it was WWE or even you would hear the chants ECW.
Right.
And it was that right there that proved how much of an influence that ECW did. Listen, there were a lot of veterans that did not like ECW because they didn't understand ECW.
Right.
It was no different than when you took the 80s hair band, Metallica, through those great bands from back then. And then Nirvana came in the 90s and just crushed everything and blew the 80s metal away. That's what W did to wrestling. We helped the face of professional wrestling. The reason you're using tables, all of that, is because what ECW brought to the business during that time. And the thing about it is everybody talks about, man, I would love to bring ECW back. Let's bring ECW back. What a lot of understand, in order to have that mentality, that brutal mentality, to be able to put your body on the line the way we did 4 to 5 nights in a row, you have to be a special breed in order to do that. You have to be able to take insane punishment because we weren't holding anything back. We were beating the living hell out of each other and accepting it as it came along. And we were allowing people to beat us, and we were beating. So in order for you to bring ECW back, you have to have those guys that are in that's going to be in that company that's willing to put these on the line, their careers, and don't give a damn about anything that matters. And with what would they call it? Cancel
culture.
Culture today, I don't think you can. You can't push the envelope the way we did back in the 90s. And I'm not just talking ECW and WWE. You cannot push the envelope the way we did back then to shock the people and to make it.
Not only that, when you look back on it, even though it was what it was new.
Yep.
It was new. It was different. And it went outside. It was another version of professional wrestling. It was another. This is professional wrestling. Extreme was the word for that. Couldn't have thought of a more perfect word for that. Even when you guys did your camera work and made the guys look like they were like sideways or stuff like that, and these different little things in the back, that's different. I don't know if Paulie came up with all of that stuff, but if you look at the product, in essence, what I'm saying is this: you can't replicate that. You can't replicate it. You can't go back to something that was so innovative at the time and try to redo it. You can't do it. I just don't think you can. The thing is, what it was what it was. The product was what it was. But the guys still look at that time. We're talking about the 90s. They still look like professional wrestlers.
Yes.
They still look the part. Anybody can go do the extreme stuff, but do you look the part? You'll never be able to capture that, if you understand what I'm saying. You won't capture it. It's too unique.
And that's the thing with today's professional wrestling. I'm not knocking, this new generation, but at the same token, if you hit the nail right on the button, you have to look the part. How many times did I go to Madison Square Garden and watch the WWF and see guys like the Warlord, the You know,
Right.
them side of Madison Square Garden trying to get a cab, you know, to get to their hotel or to get wherever they were going, and being surrounded by the fans. And I remember walking, I was like, what the hell's going on over there? I walked over there and I seen a man larger than life. I mean,
Right.
ridiculous how big this was. And you didn't, I mean, he had that look on his face where, you know, you knew better
Right.
to mess with him. And he was he's the nicest guy in the world.
Oh man, the coolest guy in the world, bro. Coolest guy. You know, we used to go down, Devon. We used to go down. Me and my brother, Ahmed Johnson. Who else was with us? This was when we were like in training, but we wasn't doing nothing yet. You know what I'm saying? Just doing stuff around town. And brother, him, the Barbarian, Hercules Hernandez, Teddy Long, when WCW came to town, Ron Simmons, all these guys, we were nobodies now. I mean, nobodies. And them guys would go out of their way to come out and talk to us, man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I've always treated people the way I've treated people in the business. And that's why I never understood why people, you know what I don't know if you really understand what I'm saying, but when a guy, especially, you know, like local guys, I always sit back and talk to them, Devon, because I was that guy at one time. I was that guy.
Yep. And, you know, that's the thing with some of the new generation. Or to even have a conversation. But yet you want them to buy your merchandise. Yet you want them back to you in the arena. But yet you can't even have a conversation with them to show your appreciation. Just that alone, you know, can move mountains in a fan's eyes. And a lot of the new generation don't realize where this new generation got lost. I don't know.
I think it's a part. I think, Devon. I think it's just a natural progression of what we're seeing in society that actually spills over to the professional wrestling mindset. If that makes sense.
I was growing in.
Devon, you're breaking up again.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Nine is he frozen on your end, Chris?
Yes. Devon, are you like away from your router?
No, I'm right here. How about now? Can you hear me?
No, we hear you, but you were frozen
You're breaking
for
up.
a second.
Mm-hmm.
You're breaking up and frozen for a second.
Oh, okay.
I know it's not on our end, because on our end I get a level thing on my end, because Chris is fine and I'm fine, but you're kind of break, because if it's on my end, we'll all be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
If you see what I'm saying?
On. Let me see.
Because he might have to reset his router.
He might, because it's been the words since we've been doing the interview, but now it's the video.
Okay.
Now the video is sticking. So I don't know.
But now y'all right about that. Like, I think it is a progression of like what's going on in, like, you know, the political arena.
I think it's the spectrum of today.
Yeah. That's basically what it is. Yeah. Because I'm sorry, but in this generation, compared to the Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Hardy Boys, this generation is pretty soft. I hate to say it. Like, don't touch me. Don't touch me. No, don't slap me. Ooh, that hurts. Type of shit. But I digress.
He's back. He's back now. You got another question, Chris?
Hold on, Chris. Do that again.
Huh?
Do that again. Ooh,
don't touch me. That hurts. Ooh. But whatever. But anyway, I'm gonna go into my next question though. So this is actually for you personally. What is some things which you like to done differently in your career?
I think, when I look back at some of the success of some of the stars that were during my era, I think I would have loved to have invested a little bit more. I mean, people say, well, how could you have invested any more than you already did? I think there are certain things that I could have learned, taking the time to learn, as opposed to wanting to go out there and just do what I was doing and be content with it.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of maybe even sitting down. I mean, I picked a lot of brains, but I think I could have picked even more than what I did.
Mm-hmm.
I also feel that I could have concentrated a little bit more on my career, as opposed to wanting to go out there and hang out and have fun and things like that, because I did a lot of that. So I
Wait a minute, mate. Wait a minute, man. Back up. Stop the press. Now, what did you say? You was out there partying? That what you said?
Listen, I did my share. I'm not gonna lie.
I heard the dirt sheets, but I'm glad that I got the source.
Listen.
You don't have to elaborate. I mean, I'm reading in between the lines.
See your boy. Never. See, I go to bed early. I get up early. See, that's what your boy did. No partying for old Ray Dog. You know what I'm saying? None.
Yeah, I had my fun. I mean, I hung out with guys. It was myself, Maven, Manga, God rest his soul, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio. Out and we did a little partying here and there, and but again,
no good for you, bro.
Well, I realized that now, but it's a little too late. I can't go back. But
people just don't know, Devon. People just don't know the rigorous trials and tribulations of the life of a professional wrestler. They just, and we can't even. This is something that I tell people, Devon. I want to see if you agree with me or not. Being around this business is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Being in this business, what it actually consumes everything you do, and it's a part of everything you are.
Yeah.
Then you've never been in the business. And
Absolutely.
you never can understand. You can hear these stories that we joke about, but if you've never been out there, you still don't get it. And you never will.
Yeah.
Seriously. When you see guys on the podcast talking about stories, this happened, that happened, this stuff, blah, 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 brother, I look back, and that's why I don't do a lot of that stuff on this show. Because sometimes it's debilitating mentally. Some places I don't want to go. I came from it. I don't want to go back. Do you agree with me on that?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean, again, it's one of those things where I wish I could have taken it a little bit, just a tad bit more seriously.
Right.
Opposed to wanting to go out after the show, have a little fun, and then stories to tell like that. Concentrating a little bit more on my career during time, I think would have helped me even more than what I had accomplished. But again, you live and you learn.
You live and learn.
Now you pass on that knowledge to the new generation for those that want to hear you, that in consideration, and go, something? Devon realizes he should have done more. I'm going to do more.
Right.
Okay.
I can respect that. But I tell people all the time, Chris, I've never been around. I've been around a lot of people. I done did a lot of things. Everybody knows that, man. But the people that I've met in professional wrestling, some of the coolest guys in the world, but some of the craziest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm from, like I said, I'm straight off the corner in Southeast Houston, bro. Straight off the corner. I grew up around pimps and hoes. That's normal. That life is normal compared to a professional wrestler's life.
Oh,
if you believe that.
Yeah, and that's the hard part. When you tell that story or when you say things like that, people don't get it. They were like, wait a minute. Grew up with hoes around you. How can wrestling be that worse. If you ain't never been, you will never know.
You'll never know.
Then I guess
You
I'll
never
never
know.
know.
That's the uniqueness of pro wrestling. Most
I'll
unique
never know,
individuals in the world.
What was that? What
of
was
pro
that?
wrestling.
Studio 54. I believe I forgot the movie that they made. Or I don't think it was called Studio 54, but you knew it was about Studio 54.
I think the movie. Wasn't it two guys that starred in it?
Yes, it was the two guys that started, and one of who was the guy that
I
sang?
can't remember their names.
Who was the guy that sang "Good Vibration"?
Good Vibration.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't know his name.
He did the movie Brothers too.
Oh, you're talking about Mark Wahlberg?
Wahlberg, yeah. He played, kind of told the story about Studio 54. And when people asked me about the act, whatever, they said, how was it? Was it that crazy? And I asked them, I said, have you ever seen the movie Studio that they picked on for?
Right.
Some say yes and some say no. For those that say no, I said, well, you won't understand it. For those that yes, I go, take that movie 10 times worse.
Right.
That's
why we can look back on it now and go, wow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Wow.
I'll say this. Half of us should be locked up.
I think I should have been locked up before I got in the wrestling business, bro.
No, they're not talking about Boogie Nights.
I should have been a little tired, man, but I escaped. But I got close, very close.
I'm
a couple of times, bro. But
happy,
you know,
that's here to tell the story and to be able to say that, you know, been there and I cleaned my life.
Right.
You know,
right.
I'm an ordained reverend now.
Right.
And I changed my life. I gave my life to Christ. And you know, I don't do any of the stuff that I used to do back in the day. I'm a family man now, beautiful wife. I have two beautiful girls with a baby on the way, and I'm very, very happy.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Very happy and content. And I love my wife. I post her nonstop on social media. I let the world know that that's my baby, that's my wife, and nobody else will come before her.
Well, hey, brother.
I have a question. I got a question.
Hey, brother, didn't you hear me talking?
I'm sorry, my bad. I'm sorry, Uncle.
Didn't you hear me trying to convey something here?
I'm sorry.
You're supposed to have a little decorum.
Decorum? Isn't that the word that I use?
Yeah, but you don't. You say it, but you don't use it.
Oh no, you didn't. No,
you
didn't.
Okay. Yeah, you don't practice it.
All right. Okay. No,
go ahead, Chris. I'm going to give you the floor. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna get y'all. Okay. All right. So what? So that brings me to the preacher gimmick. I'm not gonna lie to you. You traumatized me when you and Farouk. You know where I'm going with this. You laughed because you know where I'm going with this. So I've been asking myself at my desk today, should I ask Devon this? Should I not ask him this? I don't know. I don't know how he is. I heard he was cool, but I don't want to embarrass him. But I don't know.
Well, he might be cool. Depends on what you're going to ask him.
Okay, I'm going to ask him.
And then I might have to cut his mic off. So get ready.
No, it's not going to be nothing disrespectful. But he knows what I'm about to ask him.
Okay,
so
go ahead.
When you said that I don't masturbate, who was that in the script? Was that something you came up with or whatever? Because I'm trying to figure out why you and Devon did not laugh at that shit. Because I'm sorry, I was repeating that shit today on YouTube. I'm just like, this shit is funny.
Matthews, my boy Matthew just put it up. Go ahead.
What happened?
It was Paul Heyman. Again, this is where
Lord.
You know, this is something that he did in ECW. And you know, he brought it to WWE. And this was something that when I got into work that day, They gave me a script. I'm sorry, my daughter. I'm sorry.
That's your daughter?
That's my daughter. That's the baby.
Put her on camera. Put her on camera. Let's interview her. Put her on camera.
I walked in work and Paul Heyman gave me, the verbiage, and I went, "You want me to say this?" And he goes, "Yeah, I think it'll be great." And of course, Paul Heyman is like the Dave Koresh of Paul.
Really?
It's wrong, but by the time you get done with the conversation with him, you would swear.
Make it sound right.
Oh, you swear. Yeah, make it sound so good.
Right.
That was hilarious.
I feel it was better than Vince McMahon at times. Because Vince would be able, you walk into the room and you mad as hell. And you're like, "I'm going to tell Vince how I feel. This is what I want. I'm going to stick to my guns and this and that."
Mm-hmm.
That room, and exactly what Vince wanted you to do, that's what you're going to do. And you're like, "Wait a minute. I went into that room saying what I say to this man." And I freaked.
Shit.
That's what he did. He basically convinced me that it was okay to do that. And I was like, me and Farouk decided we were going to have fun with it. And that's exactly.
Right. Man.
And
Farouk is a cool, he is a cool cat. I love Farouk.
Never thought in a million years something that took place literally almost 30 years ago that we would still be talking about to this.
Well, I had to bring it up, bro. I had to bring that shit up because, dude, that was so funny. And you did a preacher's gimmick. That was the funniest part. And you was like focused on it. And I'm just like, this is funny. This is comedy.
One that brings it up. Just about every interview that I do, they bring that up. And it's like being researched again on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and all. I've been seeing it a lot, and they keep bringing it back. But that's the one segment that I never thought in a million years that would be brought up, and it is. It's great. I love it.
I'm glad I got it out of my system.
Last through the annals of time.
Oh yeah,
something that would just work for you in an everyday thing, and it's like going viral in today's world.
Mm-hmm. It was like,
but it just lasts. It just lasts.
Just the way Farouk did, he goes, "Oh, you lost your damn mind." He's like, "Let me get this straight, Reverend. You don't master." Oh, no.
Well, I do.
Well, let me tell you something, Reverend. I do.
Oh God. My boy Ron, boy, that is my main man, Ron Simmons, bro. So much fun we have with these guys, bro.
Hit you with the
Every time I got that ring with Ron, I prayed that he liked me and I didn't tick him off, because let me.
Oh my God.
The death, he was death.
Right.
It was great, but he was like my. I love Ron.
Man.
He's like
Ron took care of me and my brother. Ron took care of me and my brother when we first came to WCW, man. He took care of us, man. I mean, he took us under his wing, man, and put us in real check. You dig what I'm saying? He really put us in real check and let us know what was what, And I'll never forget that.
Yep.
I'll never forget that.
Kind of started going sour, and I couldn't understand why, because we were getting the reactions that we supposed to be getting, and yet the rug was being pulled from underneath me. I remember Farouk and Rikishi both came to me and said, "Don't even worry about that. You're doing your job. You're doing exactly what you were supposed to do. Everybody loves the gimmick, and sooner or later, whether it be now or later on in life, they will see that they pulled the rug from underneath you for no reason." You've got certain WWE officials that are going on podcasts now saying that too many people were in my ear at the time and blah, blah, blah. Look, it got over. Here's my deal. And I'll say, if the Reverend Devon gimmick didn't work, Triple H would have never laid down for me in the middle of that ring on SmackDown. I'm sorry. The amount of power that he had back then and what he was about, he would have never saw fit to lay down for me. he helped me to elevate. But even though he helped me, they still pulled the rug underneath me. So for those WWE officials that are saying that, you have your own opinion. I got the opinion of my peers that were there at that time and that knew the deal. Also, I got the approval from the fans, even to the new fans of this generation that watch this, that come up to me and tell me how much they really enjoyed the Reverend Devon gimmick and how it got cut too short. And I would love to do that gimmick again. I had a great time. The great thing about it was I would come into work.
Mm-hmm.
I would go to Vince and go, "Hey, Vince, I'm going to say this. He goes, "Don't do that." What do you mean? He goes, "Don't tell me what you want to say. I want to feed off of you. You're doing," and the man tells me, he goes, "I love what you're doing with this gimmick. I love everything about it. And me and Vince would go in there and do one take and one take only."
Right.
When promos in the back, and that was it. If I was doing such a bad job, if there were too many people in my head, which there were, but if that was affecting me, then Vince would have never done what he did with me. And like I said, Triple H would have never laid down for me.
Right.
So if that want to talk that crap, that was there, talk what you want to talk. We know the real deal.
And that's the thing. That's all you can. That's all. I mean, you can't please everybody, bro.
No.
That's something my mother used to tell me when I was a kid. You can't please everybody. But if you got the respect from your peers and the people that do the exact same thing that you do on a daily basis, people do not know how far that really goes. Mm-hmm. When you have the respect of your peers and the people that really know what's really going on from a professional wrestler's perspective, and from your whole makeup.
Teddy Long said to me, he goes, "Devon, you know why certain people say what they want to say.
Let them know what's up.
No, let them say what they want to say.
You know what's up.
You know they're going to say it. And you know what? He's right, because it's the truth. Because, again, it was going really well. It really was. And him to have yanked it the way.
And another thing, Devon, let me say this. When it comes to that gimmick, let me say this. A lot of people in this business, and I'm going to choose my words carefully, a lot of people in this business don't get it. And you'll never get it. But because it does not come from the realm of where you are from.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just hard to get. You dig? If I'm making sense.
No, you make sense.
So it's nothing you can do about that.
There's not, but you know what? Trust in God and let him fight your battles. That old saying, your arms are too short to box with God. I firmly believe that, because at the end of the day, if he had something bigger and better, planned, even though it might not have worked out the way I wanted it to work out, but it's almost like he's saying, "Son, relax, don't worry about it. I've got you." And he's
you know what I want you to do, Devon? Brother to brother. I want you to take a young Chris Dillsworth, man, because I really think he needs some godly tutelage. I really think he needs some godly tutelage, bro.
Devon, I hope you not like believing this crap that he's
no, brother. I'm trying to help you, dog. I'm Uncle Stevie, brother. I'm always there for you, dog.
I got the Christ right here.
Look at that cross that he brought down there at that 7-Eleven.
I'm a Christian for life. I'm a Christian by law for a reason. Okay.
You always say that when you come on here. Yeah. Every time he come on the show, man. After he done did something really, said something really
I've been listening lately.
Well, you know I'm a Christian, right? That's what he does, Devon.
I am. I'm a Christian. Now, sometimes my might get me a little bit in trouble, but
Calcutta just said Stevie is too late for Chris. I don't believe that, Calcutta. I believe Brother Devon. I believe Brother Devon, man.
Reverend.
Come on, brother. Let's not give up on. I can't give up on this young brother. I can't do that. I don't give up on my people. Calcutta.
Please don't give up on me. But you know what?
That's why Calcutta brother went to Japan. I'm not like that, Calcutta.
But all
I gotta stay here and help my brothers.
I did want to ask this. This part is serious because I really did want to ask you this. You mentioned Teddy Long, you mentioned for Farouk, and you mentioned Rikishi. My question to you is, when it comes to Black representation in the business, what do you think about that today?
Well, I still think there's a lot of racism in this, regardless to what they might say that it's not. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. A lot of them traded in their white sheets for suits.
Ooh.
And as far as I'm concerned, there's a bunch of them in there. They just very good at hiding, because again,
I've noticed that too.
Like the 80s, it's not like the 70s and 80s where they could just come out and say what they want, because they know questions now if they do. So they do it, whether they ruin your career or whether they get rid of you or what have you. So they have other ways of doing it. But again, they traded in their white sheets for suits. Because I've seen it. And from when I first started in the business to even to the present day, there are people like that. So don't think that it's actually not, that it's gone, that it's been erased. Because even though in society it should not still be like that, it is, because you still got a lot of the good old boys still lurking around, and again in suits, in disguise. You have a lot of David Dukes out there that are still alive and living well.
Devon, let me ask you this, since you are on that subject. Vince Russo and I do a podcast together. And a few weeks ago, he came across an article that you had did with, I can't remember who it was now, and you were addressing some of the racist incidents that has happened to you in your career. And man, he showed it to me and I read it. And I was like, this is deep, man. I really didn't. I got my own stories, and I'm going to be honest with you. I never think about other people's stories when it comes to this business and that subject. And I was just like, wow, man, I really respect that. Can you elaborate on what you were saying in that article for everybody that's watching right now that don't know or haven't read it? Can you elaborate on what you was talking about and go over it a little bit, just you can be brief, you can, bottle it up if you want to, but just elaborate on it a little bit, man.
Said that there was a top official when I first got to the company that basically said and came out on two different occasions. One was the opening of the WWE restaurant, that he didn't like me or didn't care for me because I was Black. And, at that point, I balled up my fist. Bubba was there. He grabbed me and he said, but you know something? If he's Black or white or green, it doesn't matter. He's a good human being. He works his ass off and he knows what he's doing. And the person said, well, yeah, but and I just don't know about that. I'm still trying to deal with that. And I just walked away from him. And then the second time I mentioned that it was myself, Tommy Dreamer, Paul Heyman, Spike Dudley. We were in Indianapolis, Indiana, and we were sitting in catering, and this individual walked in and said hello to everybody else and didn't say hello to me. And Paul Heyman called this individual out and said, what's the matter? What, you can't say hello to Devon? Why? Because he's Black? And then the person said, you're damn right, because he's Black. That's right, I said it, because he's Black. And I remember getting up, looking at this person, and I just walked out. I went into the arena upset. And, I first thought about my family, what would happen if I was to retaliate. Want that. And I remember Shane McMahon came for me. And he said, Devon, what's wrong? What happened? And I said, nothing, Shane. I said, don't worry about it. He goes, tell me what happened. I said, Shane, I'm not saying a word. I'm going to put it in God's hands. I'm going to let him handle it. He goes, Devon, please tell me. I said, no. I said, your father does not need to know this. I said, I'm going to put it in God's hand, and I'm going to let him handle and fight my battles. Mm-hmm. I looked at Shane. I shook his hand. I said, promise me you won't bring this up and you won't say anything. This person will get his. Trust me when I say it. And he gave me his word. He wouldn't say anything, and he kept it. And I want to say this. There was a lot of people that were out there naming individuals. One was John Laurinaitis, which that was false. John Laurinaitis helped me and guided me as a producer. I know there's a lot of people that don't care for Johnny, but he helped me to become a really good producer when I was there with WWE. I have no ill to say about John Laurinaitis. John Laurinaitis helped me tremendously. And another one was Michael Hayes. Some people brought up Michael Hayes' name. Michael Hayes, the same thing. As a producer, he under his wing, showed me the ropes, and really helped me. I know because I remember I heard that he had a past issue by saying something before. I get that. Number one, that because I was in TNA at the time when this happened. But no, it was not Michael Hayes. And so instead, people can guess and say what they want to say. But this individual, God is taking care of. Believe me when I say it, he's taking care of it. And there's no reason for me to say anything or to bring it out because I'm going to leave it in God's hands. And don't worry, whether this individual ever sees the about what I'm saying, he knows it's him. And that's all that matters. So, person sees me, he knows I don't like him, and he don't say nothing to me. He don't say nothing to him. Although I had to call him out one time at a function and told him, I said, if you ever say anything to me, knock the shit out of you. And I pretty much said that. I said, I'm telling you, I was like, I'm in a position right now where you can't touch me. Back in the day, I said, everything comes back to bite somebody in the ass when they do wrong. And came back. So this person how I feel and knows when he sees me not to say a damn word to me. Because this will be so easy to do.
Well, you being a man of faith, these are the same things I try to tell Chris Dillsworth, man. He don't listen.
Here we go again. We always talk about.
Devon is trying to help you, man. So am I. See, Devon, you need to listen, bro. That's all.
I'm listening to Chris, the Reverend.
You need to listen to
you all the time. Yeah. I listen to you all the time. The hell? Come on now. I don't have selective hearing. I always say this on my podcast, on your podcast. It doesn't matter. Listen, like Karma, my color doesn't change. It stays the same. You share me, So,
well, let me ask you this, Devon. Once you transitioned into working behind the scenes, man, I gotta ask you, because the reason I'm asking this is this, man, and we don't want to hold you up too much longer, man, because I think we've been on the phone a little over an hour now. But we got so much to talk about. Maybe you can do another show for us,
Absolutely.
in the future.
I would love to come back.
This time, no Chris Dillsworth, just brother to brother.
Fine.
You did?
That's fine.
Brother to brother, so we can really get down to the real nitty gritty.
I'm just here for the comments and the collard greens. That's it.
I'm trying to talk to Devon, man. Can you give me a second? I'm trying to talk to our guests, if you don't mind. Golly.
That's fine.
Okay, it's like I said, decorum, brother. No slight. But Devon, the reason I'm asking you is this, bro. See, Chris, there's certain questions as a fan. Hey, man, you did a great job tonight. But there's certain things you did. I got to take the baton, man.
That's cool. I told you, I'm staying in my lane, staying in my box, staying in my zip code.
Anyway, Devon, the reason, see what I got to deal with, man. That's my man, 50 grand, though. But it is what it is. He'll never change, man. But anyway, Devon, the reason I'm asking this is because I've talked to so many people that have worked behind the scenes and worked in the ring. And when they left, it was almost like a weight off their backs. Now, I know, I'm not saying that's what you went through, but what I'm saying is this. You worked behind the scenes for quite some time. Matter of fact, last time you and I talked, personally, face to face, you were still working behind the scenes at the time.
Right.
Now, by the mere fact that you're not doing that anymore, what are your sentiments on that, working behind the scenes, and how was it for you?
Well, I'm going to say this. I was very surprised that I lasted for 7 years. You know, a lot of guys did not last long. Guys that have come before me that I've
watched. I know.
You know, I heard stories about DiBiase not liking it. I heard about Goldust not liking it. Sergeant not liking it. You know, so many other guys. I heard Kane was asked, and he said, "Hell no." It's a lot. When you're working, when you're working behind the
Bluetooth connected.
Your voice cut out, Devon. I'm sorry.
I did not like it at first.
Okay.
I dreaded it. I wished I was back in the ring at that point in time because I just wasn't ready to make that transition or to even try to make it as a producer because I felt like I still had a lot of left in the tank.
Right.
You know, at 43 years old, you know, even though, you know, some might consider that being old, but I didn't. And we all know that there are people in their 50s and 60s that are still wrestling.
Right.
You know, I was kind of forced into retirement during and did not like it at all. So my personal opinion, I did what I was supposed to do. And again, I must have been doing a good job because I lasted 7 years under the Vince McMahon regime, you know, as a producer. So, you know, and we all know if that man don't like you or want you or think that you're not doing the job that you're supposed to do, he's going to fire you.
Right.
And, you know, so I had to learn how to keep my mouth shut and do what I was told. And, you know, I'm not saying I was always happy with it, but, you know, I had a family to feed.
Right.
And what I had to do in order to maintain. And, you know, towards the end of it, when I was in NXT, I pretty much got let go because I basically got permission 4 years prior to do an autograph signing in the UK. When COVID hit, so until the next year. And then the next year came, I had a stroke. So that got canceled again, postponed. Then the following year, I had surgery. So when I had asked at the time, John Laurinaitis, you know, I'd still be able to do the autograph signing because they had already paid me.
Right.
You know, and this and that. So when I asked him, he says, absolutely. He goes, I already spoke to legal department and they said, not a problem. So I said, okay. And then the whole controversy happened with Vince, where he had stepped down. And remember John Laurinaitis let go. And I just remember there was another guy that took Mark Carano's place. I forgot his name. And Bruce Pritchard. So I called Bruce because I figured, you know, hey, I want to make sure that, you know, I'm not going to get in trouble for this. So, because I'm going to let him know. I said, Bruce, 4 years ago, and even up until John Laurinaitis got let go, I was told that I can do an autograph signing that was okayed 4 years ago. And it was told the same story I told you guys. And I said it was just verified this past June. Well, Devon, you know, we don't do autograph signings for talent and this and that. I said, Bruce, I don't mean to cut you off. I said, but I'm not talent anymore. I'm an employee of the company. Well, not even employees of the company don't do it anymore. And I just went, well, that's not right. I said, because that's not true. because I knew there's other people that were doing autograph signings.
Right.
I didn't say that. And so after, going a little back and forth, I said, okay, listen. He said, listen, if you can let talent relations know, tell them if they say it's okay, then go ahead and do the autograph signing.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, not a problem. And I, let them know, wrote them a nice email, explained it to them, and the whole nine. I'm on my way up to NXT, and I get a phone call from the lady in talent relations, and Matt Bloom, saying, hey, Devo, I'm sorry to have to do this, but we have to let you go.
Mm.
I said, let me go. I said, for what? Well, due to budget cuts and this and that. I said, budget cuts my ass. I said, I know exactly where this is coming from, and this is messed up. I said, that's why I said on Twitter, I said, you know what? You go your way, I'll go my way. It's not a big deal. I ain't even gonna fight this. As far as I'm concerned, my time is up with this company, and I need to go elsewhere. You're gonna let me go or want to get rid of me because something you gave me permission 4 years ago. And each year during that 4 years, I kept getting permission from legal department and talent relations. And now all of a sudden you're going to tell me that you want to let me go because of an autograph signing that you gave me permission to do. And that's right. And then, because then you're going to tell me, here's the problem. You're going to sit there and tell me that you're going to let me go do the budget cuts, but yet as soon as I leave, you hire 2 people in my place.
Wow.
Now, how is that budget cuts?
That's wow.
That's corporate America.
Yeah.
It is.
Budget cuts.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we're gonna go in a different direction. Yeah, that's what they tell the quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going in a different direction. Yeah, I'm traded. Oh, brother. Yeah, I was always wondering. That's why I asked that question, just to see how things ended.
Yeah.
Did you bow out on your own, or were something like this? But everybody I've talked to, they didn't. I guess it was like we didn't realize how things were affecting me until I was gone.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you feel that way also?
Yes. And have the machine behind you.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to think what it would be like them being behind you. But I will say, I'm going to say this: Shawn Michaels, Matt Bloom, Taylor, Robbie Brookside, Johnny Moss, Fit Finley, and Norman Smiley, all great to me. Never had a bad thing. I absolutely
even Norman Smiley.
Even Norman Smiley.
Even Norman Smiley. That no Spanish speaking son of a gun.
Listen, I had a great time there. I loved it. It was great working with the younger talent, trying to get them ready for the main roster.
Right.
Bad thing about NXT or the people that was there. My love was with them, and including the main roster too. Don't get me wrong. I made some great friends up there, but I enjoyed NXT the most. I really did. It was like the NFL and college football. We all know college football. They will hit harder and work extra hard, and they will do what they're doing.
Right.
Make sure they can get to the NFL. Because get to the NFL, it kind of like, okay, it's a money thing now.
Right.
But these kids, they were very hungry and very willing to do anything, and it was a great time being there. So I've got and the other coaches there too. I had no ill feelings with them whatsoever. I've never even had ill feelings towards anybody on the main roster. The producers that were there, Adam Pearce, like I said, Mike Hayes, Jamie Noble, Chris Park, so many other Hurricane, so many of the producers I had great camaraderie with. I really enjoyed myself being there with them. Again, there were certain people within the organization that I didn't care for.
Right.
And those names that I mentioned don't care for certain people as well. But I'm not going to name in names because that's not what I'm here.
I hear
but
you.
at the token,
Don't be like Dillsworth.
yeah.
Don't be like him.
But I got
He named names, man, all the time.
You damn right. I'm gonna name names because they need to be put out there.
He triggered, man. The dude got it. He triggered so easy,
right.
man.
There's certain things.
Now, look for some of the things we done been through, Devon. We done been all over the world, man. We done did some of the things that we got to take to our grave. And look how calm we are. Look how calm we are.
Yeah.
But Chris, that's what I'm talking about, man. I want you to meet Brother Devon, man. I want someone when he got to rub off on you, man.
You know what? Maybe the holy water might work, but I don't know.
Well, it might burn you like a vampire.
Really?
Might really? You see what happened?
Okay.
If you put a little of that holy water on him, you start smoking. You don't want that to happen to you.
Listen, my whole thing
is like the Wizard of Oz. Put that water on that witch.
As a journalist, I really want to get to the heart of the story. You have known me for almost 4 years.
Okay.
My whole thing is like, I don't like to play politics, but then once again, people want the brownie points. I'm not here for the brownie points. I'm here to get to the heart of the story and move on.
You did today.
But the problem is there's other. No, I'm talking about like outside of like the podcasting game. The issue is that they want the cool points. It was like, well, if I say something nice about WWE, you know, maybe they might notice me. I don't give a damn if they notice me or not.
Bob, you being a journalist, your integrity is first.
Very much so.
Your integrity is first.
Yes.
So you can't worry about that. You got to have your journalism integrity.
Yes.
To get the real story and get the right story.
Yeah, because like I don't do things for clickbaits. Like I don't do.
Don't be a clickbait guy, bro. Don't be like some of these people we see today. Don't be that. You gotta, establish yourself. That's why I brought you on with Devon today. I hope he taught you something.
I appreciate it. Yeah, very much so.
I hope
it's a lot of things I learned. It's a lot of things I learned, and I appreciate it.
That mind of yours, man. I hope he got in there. He can help you, kind of train you a little bit, man. That's all I'm trying to do, man. We all got to get along, man.
I'm fine. What are you talking about?
Now, see, we get along, but you got outside other sources that you need to get along with. Not me, not Devon, but those other people you're dealing with.
Oh, you talk about that person.
You got to take the higher road sometime, baby. Devon, will you tell him? He don't listen to me.
Yeah.
He won't listen.
Yeah, when you have people on your podcast, you let me in the green room, hostage or whatever. I can't defend myself, but then you gonna let this fool.
I just want everybody to have a good time on the show.
Yeah.
I cannot have conflict. I can't do that, man. Did we miss out on what we're really doing? When you telling people,
we can have a Hollywood Squares thing going on. You have that ability. Come on now.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do Hollywood Square. I don't even want to do hip hop Hollywood Square. You see how that turned out?
For my last podcast, I had people come to me talking about, why did you let Vince Russo talk to you like that? I didn't have nothing to do with that.
Don't listen to them people, man. Vince, you know how Vince is. Just look over him.
No, did you see how
Devon just told you a story? Devon just told you a story. You listen to Devon. He just told a story. And he showed you how you handle a situation. He showed you how he said, I'm going to put this in God's hand. You heard it.
I put nothing in God's hands.
Now, you see what I'm saying? You see the difference? You see how he want to be combative? Why? He wants to be combative. I'm just trying to show you how you handle things, man. That's all. Devon and I done been there, bro.
Okay. But I got a different energy when somebody come at me. I don't know you. I just know your outrageous takes and all that. You come at me and then first of all, that man gonna put some respect on my name. If I have to hunt from him from the Wizard of Oz all the way to where you are right now, then so be it.
See what I got to deal with, dog? Devon, I'll deal with Chris later on, bro. But Chris, appreciate you coming on the show tonight, man. You did a very good job, even though You still got a hard head, you know,
You
like my
just
mother
can't
used
say
to say.
nothing nice about
Hard
me,
head,
can
make a
you?
soft ass. But that's what she used to say. But be that as it may, Devon, appreciate you coming on. Devon, we only got into the beginning, brother. You know what I'm saying? We only got into the beginning, and I would appreciate if you come back on the show at another time, man, and grace us again. Grace us again, man.
I would love to come back, and like I said, you know, I have nothing to be ashamed.
You're cutting out again. You're cutting out again, Devon. What? Say that again.
Okay, I have nothing to be ashamed of my career. I love every bit of it. Thank you to WWE. Thank you to everybody that I have been in contact with there. And you never know, you know. Yeah,
Well, hey, man, that's how the old mop flops sometime, man. But hey, we
never
stayed
say
on a little longer. We stayed on a little longer than what we agreed to. But man, you had so much to talk about, and the fans really loved it, brother. And Chris, great questions tonight. This is what me and Chris do all the time, Devon. So don't feel as though.
It was a pleasure meeting you, my brother. Thank you so much for the opportunity, man.
it was a pleasure
But
meeting you.
hey,
Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate the time and let my voice heard. And, I would love to come back and do it again.
well, we gonna do it again. That's gonna happen, brother.
Let's test
Serious business. That's gonna happen. But everybody out there, hey man, you guys got a chance to meet the great Devon Dudley tonight. Devon, he doesn't go by Dudley anymore. He goes by Hughes now, but I'm calling him Dudley forever because I'm a fan of the Dudley brothers. Much respect to the Dudley brothers. They brought me a lot of pleasure in a system, in a sports entertainment that I don't get a lot out of. And when I can look at a brother and go, hey, bro, I cut the TV on and didn't cut to the other things when he was doing this thing, man. My man.
I just need Harlem Heat versus the Dudley Boys in the tables match.
How much money you got?
Huh? What happened?
How much money you got?
We ain't discussing my bank account right now. I want
to
see that match.
you want to see this, that, and the other. That costs money. How much money you got?
Do it for the fans. You said that you love. You said you love your public, right? Do it for us.
Yeah, I did say that, but I'm not going. No, certain limits to everything. Devon, Chris, appreciate it, man. We are out.
Bye, y'all.
All right, guys.